channel. My name is Taylor Bob. My channel is on lifestyle, health, and beauty. Today I have my beautiful mom, Valerie, because I am in my hometown, which is Lafayette, Louisiana. I came here just after being in my apartment for a few months, working from home. I said, why not come and visit my parents during this COVID season? So I am here, and there's a lot going on in the world, so I knew that this video was necessary. If you have not heard my podcast, I will link a link below. That way you guys can check out that podcast on Black Lives Matter and the racism that's happening in America. Before I continue with any other content on my channel, I do want to make sure that I address this as an influencer. And as a Black influencer, I think it's super important for our voices to be heard at this time. So today's video is going to be really cool because I'm going to be talking to my mom about her very first experience at her first protest. Her, my dad, and my aunt and my cousin, they all went to a protest a few weeks before I got here. And I got lucky because yesterday there was a protest here in my hometown of Lafayette. So I got to experience my first protest with my mom, and that was pretty cool to be protesting with her. I never thought I would see the day where me and my mom would have to protest over the Black Lives Matter movement. So I will link some links below. That way you guys can donate, help out, and just see how you can be a part of the Black Lives Matter movement. Okay, Mom, so my first question is, how did you feel going to this protest? Like when you first got there, like what were you thinking? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Like was it?
No, I wasn't nervous. I was eager. I was excited. I just felt that, now is the time not to sit back. We have to speak up. We have to move forward. I have grandbabies. I have nephews. I have you. You're by yourself, and I'm worried when you're traveling alone and alone living where you live. And it's time that we speak up and demand that we're treated fairly. So I was eager. I was emotional. Just thinking about everything that has happened, it's beginning to be just too much.
Yep, I definitely agree. So whenever you say emotional, what exactly are you referring to when you're saying emotional?
Just chanting the people's name that died at the hands of the police, it was overwhelming. We would hear it, but when I saw it, it was like, wow, this is real. Mm-hmm. This is the America we live in. I can't believe it. What are we? Are we nothing? We're human beings. It's ridiculous.
Yep, I definitely do agree. It's funny that you said that you were emotional. I was emotional as well, but I'll let you guys know how I felt about the protest towards the end. I really just want to get my mom's feedback. So my mom was born in the 60s. So she was kind of born in that era where things were starting to somewhat get better, I guess you can say.
Yeah, somewhat.
Somewhat get better. So for you to see it, I'm pretty sure you kind of like, what the hell, right?
Yeah.
You would think we'd be way past that.
Well, coming up, I would see things, but as a child, you don't really think nothing of it. I remember walking on the street, and we would have to walk on a certain side of the street so we wouldn't pass in front of this place where the men hung out. And of course, it was black men and white men that hung out there. But I still remember my grandfather would have to go to the back door to go inside. But as a kid, you really wouldn't think anything of it. And that's just the way it was. So we just did what everybody else did, we just lived.
It was kind of normal. So now we see history repeating itself all
and
over
now
again.
it feels like instead of moving forward, we're moving backwards.
Yeah, we're definitely moving back. So another thing I wanted to ask you about your experience with your first protest. What kind of people did you see there? Did you see white people? Did you see black people, Asians? Who were at the protest?
White, black, young, old. It was beautiful. And one thing about it, when the guy that was doing the chants, when he stopped, because his voice had gotten tired, and he was like, okay, somebody else needs to pick up the chant, somebody else step in. It was an older white man that stepped in, and he was chanting Black Lives Matter. And I looked at him like, wow, this man is doing this for us. Not one of us moved forward to pick up the chant, but he did it.
Mm-hmm.
It shows me all people, all white people not bad, all black people not bad. And I think when they realize that we're all not bad,
Yeah.
you know, the world would be a much, much better place.
I definitely agree. And I tell my mom all the time, you know, all of this is happening in the streets where we see police brutality. We see our black men getting killed in broad daylight by police officers, but also in the workplace and other places that you go, you see the same things that are happening. You know, not much so the killings, but you're still seeing that racism happening in different scenarios, you know, different phases of your life. You do see racism and it's still there. And I think, you know, companies are doing better at hiring a more diverse group of people, but I still do think that we have a long way to go in corporate America as well, because we don't get paid the same as them. You know, so a black woman does not get paid the same as a white woman. So I feel like there's a lot of work that we have to do, and it's beyond, you know, police brutality. There's more things as well, but killing our men in broad daylight, that is just something that I never thought that I would see, because we saw like one, and then it was another, and then it was another, and then it was another. So now it's becoming a norm. And I'm like, where did that come from?
And
you know?
For me, it's like the killings are senseless. Like the guy that was sleeping in the parking lot at Winn-Dixie. I mean...
At Wendy's.
At Wendy's, I'm sorry. Why not just say, hey, dude, let us take you home? And I hate to say it, but I think if that was somebody white, they would have been like, hey, let's call somebody to come and get you, or let us take you home. I think that would have, you know, would have happened.
Yep. I don't think
it was senseless. It's
none of
it's
these
ridiculous.
things that are happening are justified in America
it's ridiculous.
right now, and it's scary because, you know, our country is being ran by someone who doesn't even care for all of his American people, and that's a problem for me. You know, everyone has their own different religious beliefs, their different political beliefs, and that's fine.
Sure.
But as a leader, if you want to run a country, you have to care for all the people that's under your flag. And that's what I believe. So that's why, you know, I have my views that I have. Just because of that, you have to care for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're blue, purple, Asian, whatever.
Thank you.
You know, but it really does hurt because, you know, even as a black woman, you know, it's hard sometimes for us to, you know, dress a certain way because they look at us like, oh, she's this, she's that. Or even if you get down to the gas station, they think you're going to steal. We go into the Coach store. We go into Michael Kors store. They're following us in the store. And it's so obvious. It's like, dude, get up off me.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, you know, it's just crazy how people don't even care and they just do it so effortlessly. Like, oh, I'm not doing nothing. Let me just go follow this black girl. And it's normal to them. And that's what scares me. It's normal to them to do things like that.
It's normal, but most of them aren't taught to be that way. It starts in the home. Just like everything starts in the home. If you see your parents do something, you're going to go out and you're going to do the same thing.
Right.
But I just applaud the few, well, there's more than a few, there's a lot that have come and, you know, join forces with us, because we need everybody to just step in and, hey, wrong is wrong. And getting back to the police, I'm like, if you're afraid, you shouldn't be a cop. You should not be a cop if every time you're going to stop somebody and be ready to shoot them. No.
Yep, and my mom calls it trigger happy.
You should not be,
they're trigger happy.
You shouldn't be, I understand it is a scary job. I wouldn't want to do it. So, hey, I'm not going to go be a police officer because I'm scared. Hell no. Sorry if I said hell, y'all. But, it's just too much. And
it's like, it's really hard for us as African Americans because we can't win either way. I watched CNN today. I saw the attorney for Rayshard Brooks' family, and he said, you know, in this case, yes, he did resist the officer. He did show a little bit of aggression, but at the same time, they had no real reason to arrest this man. No reason to and they just kind of went at him. So he was kind of like, you know, oh my God, he could have been scared. He could have been worried. He probably thought he was going to get shot. That may be the reason why he showed a little bit of that aggression, maybe just off of nerves. But I feel like the way they were talking in the beginning of the video in the Wendy's parking lot, it was cool. It was peaceful. You know, they was like, what'd you have to drink, man? And he was telling him when he had to drink. And he even said, y'all, he said, dude, just take me home. Yeah, take me home. And then 5 minutes later, like, you get shot in the back, like, twice. Yeah, and this, for me too, why shoot to kill?
You can't shoot them in the leg. I'm sure y'all have target practice, right, policemen? Shoot them in the leg. You don't have to shoot to kill every time.
They shoot to kill.
Just,
they shoot to kill.
My God. I mean,
and back to what I was saying, y'all. Sorry, Mom, before I lose my train of thought. But what I was trying to say was that even though he did show aggression, he still got shot. But George Floyd, he showed no type of resistance to the cop, and he still was killed at the hands of a policeman.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. We're damned if we do, and we're damned if we don't. Like, this is what it is to be black in America. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's it. You know, so I guess now we can talk about kind of my experience. So this was a very fun experience and a very funny experience because it rained on us. So we got to the protest, and I'll insert some clips right here so you guys can see. Now! Justice! Now! Be with us! Be with us! Be with us! Be with us!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace! So basically, we started walking and chanting. We had our posters up, and then as we were walking to the start where the line began, that's when it started to drizzle. And then 2 minutes into our walk, I mean, it just started pouring down, thundering, a few lightning bolts. And we had our posters, and my whole poster, the marker was just smearing down. So I was like, I can't hold this poster up because it's gonna leak all over me, all the ink. But my mom held her poster up the whole time. But once we got to the other side, we ended up just getting in our car and leaving because it got really crazy.
And I was like, it's lightning and there's a lot of trees.
Yeah, it was kind of scary, but we had so much fun, y'all. I felt super empowered. I felt like I was actually participating and showing that action, because it's different when you see people say, oh, go vote, go protest and donate, do this. But when you're actually out there, it's a totally different feeling.
It is.
The minute I started walking, maybe 3 minutes into my walk, I felt like I wanted to just stop and just burst out into tears, because I felt the chants of the people. They weren't just saying those words, people were saying it with such emotion. And I just wanted to cry because I couldn't believe it. Because I'm like, this is stuff that we read about in history books that happened. You know, people walking and marching for justice. We didn't believe that we were going to act like I was born in 94. What? We don't protest. But now this is the way things are. So we're doing it. So I was happy to see myself there. And I was also happy to see so many other young people get out there.
You have to get out and do something. And at my age, I'm like, at first I'd have been like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that protest. But I went to one, and I was like,
you was on fire.
On fire. When I heard about another one, I'm like, I'm going to that one too. I'm like, I need to be in Washington. I need to be here. I need to be in these crowds now. I might be scared when I hear a gunshot go off, but I want to be there. I want to make a difference. I want to speak up, because this is so unfair. It really is so unfair. That could have been my husband. That could have been my stepson. That could have been my brother. That could have been my nephew.
Yep, it's really
unacceptable.
Really crazy.
Unacceptable.
Yes, you guys. So we're not going to keep rambling on and on. But the last thing I do want to kind of touch on is what our poster said and kind of what that means to us. So the poster that I had, on the front of it, it said Black Lives Matter, which is the movement to show that we do matter as a human race. And there's a lot of controversy over the Black Lives Matter movement, because a lot of people on Facebook are saying all lives matter, all lives matter, you know, which is true. However, we're the ones that are getting killed in broad daylight. We're the ones that are looked as the bad guy all the time. And so if you believe that all lives matter, then you would understand that Black Lives Matter.
And for me, my poster on one side said Black Lives Matter. All lives do matter, but as a mom, a black mom, when I go to sleep and I know my kid is not home, I worry. And I'm sure as a white mom, when you go to bed, you don't think about, hey, my child might get killed by the police tonight. I know that does not run through your mind.
Right.
The other side of my poster read, no justice, no peace, no racist police. Because I think there's a lot of racism in the police departments. And totally unacceptable. You should not
Yeah.
be a policeman if you do not care for every life that's out here on the streets.
And I definitely do agree with that statement, no justice, no peace, you know, and this is not a saying that we use to show mad aggression. It's just showing that we will continue to fight for justice until we get it. So don't expect us to stop this protesting
No, it
until
shouldn't stop.
things begin to
It
change.
shouldn't
And
stop.
as young people and as everyone, we need to just keep going with this movement. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Obama even said it. He said, young people, he said, keep the
going.
momentum, keep
do,
going.
Do not stop.
And we're going to make a change.
That's what we do. We start, we stop. We start, we stop. No, this time we're going to continue. We're going to keep marching. And as long as I can, I'm marching too. So every weekend I will be looking for a march and I will be there.
She's serious.
I will be there.
She's going to be there, y'all. And on the other side of my poster, mine said, what did it say? It says, I can't breathe. And that was what George Floyd was saying as the man's knee was on his neck, which is a horrible way, you know, to die. And the fact that he even said, you know, like, they're going to kill me, that was incredible to me, you know. But
I knew he was going to die.
I think that we have a long way to go, but I think just doing our parts as Americans can definitely help. And we have to get all the bad apples out, you know, and I think that's a true way to make change, but it's the mentality, of these police officers that they have from how they were raised and things like that.
And we need to stop making excuses. Well, he shouldn't have done this or he shouldn't have done that.
He was
I don't care
intoxicated.
if he was intoxicated. I don't care if he was on crack, because we know men in suits on crack.
Right.
Okay?
But just because we're Black doesn't mean we deserve to die.
Yes.
Just, you know, for
Wall Street is on crack.
for no reason, you know. So it's kind of crazy, but I think we can definitely make a change. Again, like I said, I will leave links below for you guys to help out by signing petitions and donating to the families of these individuals. And I will also link my podcast link down below. That way you guys can listen on what I have to say about George Floyd and the others, and also about racism in America. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really thought this would be cool, so you guys can kind of see two generations and how we both felt about what's going on. So,
and you notice how when we get mad, we start our neck going?
Yeah, we start doing this because we mad. So, but thank you guys so much for watching my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.